Good morning, everyone. I want to thank you very much for responding very quickly to our request, which we conveyed to you yesterday, to meet and to inform you about things that I want to share the information with you. And let me also add that we always appreciate your work and your extensive coverage of the situation as it relates to the Palestinian people and their tragedy and the genocidal war unleashed against them, especially in the Gaza Strip. I want to talk to you about 4 subjects. The first one is related to the efforts in the Security Council to stop the genocide, to stop the war and aggression against our people, and to respond to the global call from everyone for permanent ceasefire. In this connection, in the Security Council, we have support of 14 countries regarding the following subjects: to stop the crime related to famine, which was confirmed for the IPC and the UN, and this crime against humanity need to be condemned, to be stopped, and humanitarian assistance to scale without interruption from Israel, without excuses from Israel to deny the Palestinian people having food, water, medicine in all corners of the globe, which are leading to the death by the hundreds of Palestinian children and civilians. And also to condemn and to demand the reversal of the decision of the Israeli government to unleash massive military force against the Gaza Strip, beginning of not allowing a single person to remain in Gaza City, and to destroy of what is left in Gaza, beginning with the north, in which many reports indicate that 80% of the buildings and the dwellings have been destroyed. They want to finish the 20% and to expel the people from that area to the south, and to make the hell that our people living through even extra hell, so to create the conditions of possibly compromising, the fence or the border between Egypt and Israel. They want to expel the 2 million Palestinians from the Gaza Strip. And the third element, which was also discussed in the Security Council as it relates to illegal settlement campaign, E1 plan, thousands of settlements, pronouncements in the Knesset of annexations of significant portions of the West Bank that might lead to the full annexation of the entire West Bank. We are grateful for the support displayed in the Security Council in the strongest language that we all heard, and the position of the 14 members of the Security Council who stood before you and read a statement that covered all these subjects that I referred to. There is a draft resolution is being under consultation, and we hope that this exercise will come to an end sometime next week, we sincerely hope that it will be adopted, a position by the Council to be adopted. If not, then the resumptions of the 10th emergency session in the General Assembly will be invoked. And that is the second subject that I want to share with you. That possibility, if the Security Council does not shoulder its responsibility to stop all these crimes that I mentioned, related to famine, related to military complete control of all of the Gaza Strip, and the reversal of the illegal settlement activities, including in E1, then we have no choice, but we will be forced to go to the General Assembly so that the General Assembly to shoulder its responsibility. Of course, the resumptions of the 10th emergency session has to be completed before the beginning of the UNGA of the 80th session of the General Assembly. The third item that I want to refer to briefly is the resumptions of the International Conference for the Two-State Solution at the level of the summit, heads of states and government, which has been decided to take place in the afternoon of the 22nd of September. Yesterday, there was a meeting for the Committee on the Exercise of the Inalienable Rights of the Palestinian People, and the representative of France, the Chargé, and representatives of Saudi Arabia came and briefed the committee on the details and the modalities, the initial ones, related to that resumptions of the conference at the level of the summit, in which heads of states and governments will be participating. And of course, there are a lot of details are still under considerations. And once the two co-chairs complete this exercise, we'll share it with member states and obviously will be shared with you. The last item that I want to refer to is related to Palestinian journalists. You know as well as I do, there hasn't been a conflict for the last 100 years and more in which journalists covering such wars that have been killed as we have witnessed as it relates to Gaza. You know that the number is in excess of 245 journalists that have been killed. It is obvious that the Israeli occupying authority do not want independent journalists to document and to report their crimes. There is no explanation other than that for justifying this massive number of journalists being killed almost every day, almost every month, every week. And this tremendous crime against journalists, along with the crimes against humanitarians and staff of the United Nations, especially staff of UNRWA, in which more than 350 have been killed so far while they were carrying their duty or providing humanitarian assistance to civilians, which is their mandate. It is their duty. So to kill those, to deprive the Palestinians from having assistance, to kill journalists is to kill those who would tell the story about these crimes to maximize the pressure against those criminals who are committing these crimes. Now, as it relates to journalists, since they are your colleagues, I know that a number of you are embarking on a campaign. They want to increase the pressure on Israel because they are demanding to go and to report for themselves about the reality in the Gaza Strip. I cannot tell you what to do, but I can appeal to you that there is a lot that needs to be done to show solidarity, support, empathy, and wherever you think of, to your colleagues in this profession who are like you, are involved in covering the stories and the realities of crimes inflicted in the Palestinian people in the Gaza Strip, to tell the truth to the world for the objective of that humanity can rise up to the level to stop those criminals from continuing of doing what they were doing. And I am sure that you listened the other day to the very eloquent presentation by the ambassador of Sierra Leone, in which I remember, I know Edith remember, when in 100 days in Rwanda, 1 million people were slaughtered. Many afterwards said, where were we when we did not stop that genocide from taking place? I think that we have a duty not to allow our children and our grandchildren to raise the question, where were we when the genocide of hundreds of thousands of Palestinians were murdered, especially children and women in the Gaza Strip? As part of that responsibility, we have all to do what we can for the sake of humanity, for the sake of justice, for the sake of fairness, for the sake of the value of human life, is to do what we can do. I know a number of you are even organizing something related to efforts of journalists in this regard, not to accept from Israel that they are the ones who will tell the story. They are the criminals, and they are the ones who are telling the story as they wish about what's happening in Gaza. We need you to go to there and to investigate yourselves, to report yourself, to contribute to telling the truth for everyone in all corners of the globe about the reality as it exists in the Gaza Strip. What are they afraid of? If they are trying to sell all of us that they are doing the right thing, then shouldn't they happy to allow the Security Council, to allow hundreds of you, journalists, to go to the Gaza Strip, to go to Tel Aviv, to talk to the families of the hostages, to talk to the tens of thousands who are demanding from their government in Israel to stop this war, to save the hostages, and to save lives? If they are not afraid of anything, then why are they blocking all of us from going to investigate the reality? Why are they killing the journalists who are trying to cover the reality of what is really happening in the hospitals, in the tent towns, in all corners of the Gaza Strip, in the places where food is being distributed, and so on and so forth? So I'm not telling you what to do, but I think it is time for all of us, as we diplomats, as myself, trying to move the Security Council to shoulder its responsibility in this regard, to stop this madness, to save lives, and to find a peaceful way to resolve this conflict. And I do the same in the General Assembly, in the Human Rights Council, everywhere. I believe also you have a duty to do your own investigation, to demand that you be allowed to do so, not only to show solidarity and support to your colleagues, Palestinian journalists, but also to report in this situation with a view to contribute to bringing this madness to an end and to save lives. And for the sake of humanity, I believe that is a common duty for all of us. I just wanted to share that with you because I heard that there are a number of well-known journalists who are undertaking that exercise. I urge you to join them. And also that the Committee in Global Communication is organizing an annual seminar. It will be in New York. It will be, might be a combination of Zoom and in person, for journalists, let us make that seminar in October as a global seminar to honor and respect Palestinian journalists who died in the course of their duty, and to decide of how you can contribute to not accepting denial of entering the Gaza Strip, to see the reality and to report on it. And I trust that you will do what you believe is the right thing. Thank you.
Ambassador? Thank you very much, Mr. Ambassador, and thank you for mentioning our colleagues who have been killed in Gaza. A couple of follow-ups. First, why aren't you going directly to the General Assembly? Because you and everyone here knows that the United States will not accept a resolution as you outlined. Secondly, on the meeting on the 22nd of September, who will be representing the Palestinians, and how many recognitions of a Palestinian state are you expecting? I'll leave it there.
With regard to the first one, we are not going to let the Security Council to get away from shouldering their responsibility. They are, according to the Charter, responsible for the maintenance of international peace and security. Even if I know that we have 14 votes in favor and one is still not convinced, we have to keep trying with the Security Council. And I think that the Security Council, if you look at the body of members of the Security Council as we debate, I believe that they are so ashamed of the fact that the Security Council was paralyzed. And again, my colleague, the ambassador of Sierra Leone, said that it was a shameful situation when the Security Council was paralyzed at that time and was unable to do anything to prevent the massacre of the genocide in Rwanda from taking place. So that to maximize the pressure, we do not abandon the hope that eventually we will succeed to have the Security Council to act collectively, because it is their duty. We are very patient. We will not abandon that right that we have to keep knocking on the door of the Security Council and to keep demanding that the Council to act. Of course, the General Assembly, we will go to it, but we are not going to it because we desire to go to it. We will be going to it because the key organ of the UN entrusted with the maintenance of peace and security is failing in shouldering its responsibility, especially when you have 14 members demanding action and one member and that has the power to not allow the Council to act from not going along with them. Then therefore, you go to the General Assembly when the Security Council does not elevate itself to the level of acting where it should be acting. So that this way that we don't appear that we are just only interested in running to the General Assembly, but we are going to it because we have no other choice but to go in that direction. With regard to the 22nd, as far as I know, the head of our delegation is President Mahmoud Abbas, and he is coming to represent the state of Palestine and the Palestinian people in that conference. With regard to how many countries will be recognizing the state of Palestine, it is very possible that maybe around 10 might announce by that time or during that time their intention to invest in peace and saving the two-state solution by taking that step of recognizing the state of Palestine. That will bring us either to 160 or very close to 160, because as of today, we have 149 states that have recognized the state of Palestine. So if we have 10, 11, I don't know how many exactly, that will take that step, then we will be getting very close to 160 states recognizing the state of Palestine, which means for those who are still, the very few who are not convinced yet, how many more do you need from states that do recognize the state of Palestine and do believe in the implementation of the two states concept, which requires the end of the Israeli illegal occupation, the independence of the state of Palestine, its membership at the UN, to actualize the two-state solution as a reality.
Ambassador, the United States has just said that they'll be denying and revoking visas from members of the PLO and the Palestinian Authority. They said it doesn't apply to the UN mission, but have they indicated to you how this might affect President Abbas's planned trip to New York?
This statement attributed to the State Department was just released. It was brought to my attention just about half an hour ago. We will see exactly what it means and how it applies to any of our delegation, and we will respond accordingly.
Have you applied for a visa for President Abbas yet?
We don't apply here. Yes, sir.
هل يمكن أن توضحوا أكثر مضامين مشروع القرار الذي سيطرح أمام مجلس الأمن الأسبوع القادم، تحديدا المطالب الرئيسية فيه؟
يعني أنت استمعت إلى البيان الذي أدلى به ال14 دولة الأعضاء في مجلس الأمن، ومشروع القرار يعني يحتوي على كثير من تلك العناصر وعناصر أخرى، وهو قيد المفاوضات بين الأعضاء المختلفين بقيادة ال10 الدول المنتخبة، ويعني سنرى قريبا نهاية هذه المفاوضات في الأسبوع القادم، والبت بشأنه في مجلس الأمن قبل الذهاب إلى الجمعية العامة، إن كان هناك في ضرورة للذهاب للجمعية العامة، إلا إذا فاجأنا مجلس الأمن بتحمل مسؤولياته واعتماد قراراً يفرض على إسرائيل الالتزام بالمسائل التي أثيرت في بيانهم المشترك والتي عرجت عليها في بداية حديثي معكم قبل قليل. Yes. The one that those who are preparing it is the E10, the 10 elected members of the Security Council. They were among the 14 that read to you the other day their statement, which contained many of the elements that are reflected in the draft resolution that the 15 members of the Security Council are considering. Don't forget the journalists. Thank you very much. And let me also conclude by expressing our great appreciation to the courage and to the principled position of the Secretary General of the United Nations and his key officers, who are not caving under any pressure from shouldering their responsibility and rejecting the famine against our people in Gaza, the cruelty that is happening to our people and to our children, and rejecting and refusing to accept this massive military campaign by the Israeli occupying authorities that they are contemplating to undertake in the Gaza Strip, and they are rejecting the illegal settlement enterprise and announcement made by the Israeli government, especially as it relates to E1. We are very grateful for these brave statements, principled statements by Antonio Guterres, by Lazzarini, by Mr. Fletcher, and many other leaders of the United Nations. They are not conspiring against anyone. They are carrying out their duty in saving lives, in serving humanity, in serving the United Nations under the guides of the principles enshrined in the Charter of the UN and international law. We salute them, we thank them, and we are behind them, and we are proud that they are the leaders of the United Nations. Thank you.